Hit y'all with a little ad real quick. How we doing? How are we feeling? Today was exciting. Today was exciting. Let's make sure. No double audio. All right. I need to get 2 monitors when I get back to the house. What's going on, guys? Julie, Eric, familiar faces. I like it. How you guys feeling today? How are we feeling? I hope you guys are feeling excited. Smelling opportunity. Because that's exactly what's going on. We feeling good? We feeling good, though? I honestly didn't see this move coming, to be 100% honest with you guys. I don't think anybody really seen a 20. I mean, it wasn't really like 20%, but almost. It's going to 0, you fools. It's not possible to go to 0, but what is possible, 10, I think is like possible at the current moment. What's going on? Hi from the UK. Fantastic. We're feeling good. We're feeling good. Just stole my mom's credit card and bought more AMC shares. Just don't get caught, brother. Pay her back later. I'm just playing. Never advise that. Never advise that. Buying the dip. Hell yeah. Feeling good. You guys are feeling good. That's what I love most about this whole community. I feel like it's just the positivity day in and day out. No matter you're down 16%. Well, we only closed down 15.3%. What's up? What's up? What's up? There we go. Mr. Simon in the building. A lot of day traders. Yeah, I think there was probably a lot of day traders in general, too. I mean, this is tough. This is tough. But I've gained my diamond hands, yet I'm down 60%. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the definition of diamond hands right there. Shoot, diamond hands. It could go a little lower, but we're going to be rich, so it don't matter. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm going to be very surprised. Honestly, I'm very surprised today, so take that for what it is. If we break under, like a clean break under 20, like something we've seen today, just a big candle under 20, it could happen. Like it's possible. Fundamental valuation, as far as institutional investors is concerned, is probably not at 20. There will come a certain time you could all speculate in between $10 and $15 would make sense for an institution to buy it. So there's some level of cushion, I feel like, down there. I mean, the business is much better than what it was back before June, and we've only diluted 25 million shares that I'm aware of. So some downside, yeah. I mean, 1750, if it breaks under that, dude, I'm going shopping. I'm taking a home equity line of credit out on every house. I'm going shopping. My account dropped 17K today. Damn, you're working with a nice account. There you go. I mean, it was a good drop, so if you're heavily concentrated in AMC, shoo. I think in all I was down, shoot. Yeah, like way up there. I didn't even look at most of them. I got accounts on so many different brokerages. I just didn't want to look, honestly. If I wasn't buying, I didn't want to look. Not that I really care that much because I buy things for the long term, but made a couple nice trades today, too. Some Apple puts, SPY puts. I still have one that I bought like 1 minute left to close, so I didn't get to send it out in the buy and sell alerts, but it's a $60 December 17th, or a $460 December 17th put. Tomorrow I'm either going to make a lot, going to lose a lot, or Wednesday I should say. A lot of buyers on the sidelines. Oh, definitely. There's definitely a lot of buyers on the sidelines. I mean, I think even right now, like it makes sense, even if you're not a part of the community, to play the bounce when you can signal that it is bouncing, right? Maybe that's just me. I think that's pretty logical. I think that's what I would do if I was in that situation, because there's always some level of a bounce. Even on a dying stock, there's not just AMC, a bad business will have some level of bounce. Yeah, there's some sweet data stuff running around the twit. Oh yeah, I seen some things about like synthetics and all of that. Which this will be the time where it'll be interesting to see if we get failure to delivers around here. Actually, let's check. I really haven't looked. Because when there's a lot of volatility, I mean, you're not really gonna see it in the same sense of like too many shares outstanding. Like to the upside, there's not enough shares. There's a lot of shares being created, but it can work to the downside too. Just when there's a lot of volume and a lot of activity, but we're still not even at like really high volume, which is crazy. Oh, yeah, wrong one. I mean, we're still at really low volume, so that's ultimately a good thing when bullish volume comes into the stock. I'm very excited waiting for that. I'm not down because I didn't sell. Ape not selling. That's it too. There's some stocks. I own Big Commerce in this Robinhood that I'm just down so much on. So it's like with the stocks in there, I'm either up a lot or I'm down a lot. So it's like I don't want to sell and realize the loss. I don't want to sell and realize the gain. Because what you want to do is build out your portfolio and then just borrow against it. Instead of paying, with me in Michigan, we have pretty low taxes too. But if you're short-term gains on top of, what is it, state and federal? I'm not a tax professional, but it's like over 30%. And if you can borrow on it for 2 or 3% per year, it makes a lot of sense to let your money grow and do that, just borrow against it. Do you believe in synthetics? How are synthetics created? So basically using option activity like synthetics as far as you can create these synthetic positions, but it's I don't believe it's as widely used as people think, like the actual synthetic creation in the shares. But I mean, that gets pretty deep. What I think happens a lot where you do get extra shares outstanding is like the market makers. They have to hedge for the upside or the downside. If there's too much option activity and not enough shares to be located, that's where you get the flooding of shares that are outstanding. Eventually, in theory, they should all be returned to the rightful owners and you shouldn't have crazy amount of shares outstanding. But during like the June rally, January rally, you're seeing 1.2 billion shares trading hands every day and the float's 500 million. Like, there's a lot of extra shares outstanding. But that's basically in short about synthetics. I think during times of high volatility, you definitely see some level. Like, you've seen a lot of those back here, a lot of synthetic shares. And then back here, even when the volume's in between 100 and 200 million, there was probably some extra synthetics out there. In theory, they should be cleared and sent back to the rightful owners, but it's really hard to tell if you're not like looking at the actual orders. If you're not the SEC, it's like really hard to actually know for sure. Guessing 16 gaps swallowed up tomorrow, then a rip. What do you think, Wisconsin? I'm not sure the rate. Yeah, 16. I mean, that's going to be a hard drop if we go to 16. I mean, I really wouldn't mind, and I hope most people don't. It doesn't sound like a lot of people do, just because you can buy more shares. And at that price, dude, $16, like, oh man, you're going to have everybody trying to get some shares. It's not going to be just apes and retail. You're going to have institutions. They were buying this thing in the 40s and 50s. Most of the 13F filings, they bought shares in between 42 and 47. So I think it's going to be hard to get it down there, but it definitely could happen. I mean, that's a mean drop that we've seen today. That puts us in a weird range. I think 20's like your psychological support level. And people underestimate how much that is. Like, imagine Tesla trying to break over 500. When there's a lot of momentum, it's good. If the momentum's, not, then it can work against you a lot. And the momentum's definitely to the downside. So I think 20 is probably what I would expect tomorrow, honestly. But, man, if we go to 16, that's going to be crazy. I think by Wednesday, if we continue down, then we could definitely be pushing 16. But that's peak fear, right? The title of this video is we're almost at peak fear, right? Peak fear is almost over. And that's going to be on Wednesday. By Thursday and Friday, we should either see a big bounce or a continued sell-off. And I think it works to our benefit both ways, honestly. In the short term, obviously going to see a bounce if the markets bounce. And then if the markets just sell off, they're all propped up on Apple, Google, Amazon, Tesla, Nvidia, Facebook, I say Microsoft, all these big companies people want to own, all the money's in there. The markets would be down 20, 30, they're probably not 30%, but at least 20% if Apple, Microsoft, and Google, all these big companies were down 10%. The markets would be down 20. They just control so much of the markets. Once they go, if Fed Powell comes out and says, yeah, we got to raise interest rates like January and then again in June, oh yeah, then you're heading down. Short-term pain, but then you're really looking at the MOAS anytime. Honestly. I bought it 55. I'm so red. I need Tampax. Amen. What trading platform is good? I mean, I like E-Trade, E-Trade Pro. I think they all kind of suck, though. You know, well, they all have their goods and bads. Like, you get really good fills on like E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, but for like options and stuff, because I trade a lot of options, but you got to pay for it. And when it comes to AMC and all that, they're still like, they all do the same shit. Like Public, I think it's the best brokerage right now that I personally like to use. Just because it's clean, it sends your orders to the exchanges. That's cool with me. So I've been doing a lot of buying of AMC over there, but trading, Weeble's got some good tools, and E-Trade Pro for sure. Not really a fan of anything else, honestly. I think we'll see 21. People will throw in at 20. Your daughter is quiet tonight. By the way, yeah, she's crying now. Woo. But she's being taken care of, so it's okay. I agree with you. Just saying, I hear things, but I don't care the price. I've been in since 13. Yeah. That's good. I mean, people are going to take this opportunity to spread FUD, which opinions are fine, you know. Don't get it confused or anything when I say, like, I don't like people talking bad about AMC. It's not that I like it or dislike it. Your opinion's fine, but don't try to be mean, divide people, or spread just totally false information. That's where it's hard with me about you know, saying some crazy stuff unless it's like completely verified, because most people make videos. What was it? Nancy Pelosi's husband bought AMC. Oh my god, I don't think I made a video about that because I was like, that's not what happened. But that's an opinion, you know. Spread it if you want. It's not my juju. Yeah, stop crying by the dip. By the dip. Man, you see me crying over here? I'm crying, man. I was crying earlier. I'm just playing. I was excited. Times of volatility like this makes me really excited. Like for, you know, because I trade a lot of options. You can make a lot of money if you catch the downside. It can also lose you a lot of money. AMC 2. Can't go wrong. What is your opinion best case scenario for tomorrow and the rest of the week? Oh, she just hit her head. Best case scenario for tomorrow and the rest of the week. Yeah, I mean, best case scenario. Yeah, she's screaming now. Best case scenario. Best case scenario is retesting this 200-day moving average at 31.91. That's like my best case scenario by the end of the week. Worst case scenario, yeah, it's down there, 17.50. Really, I don't think under 20 by the rest of this week, but $3, 1 cent away. I mean, it can happen. That's over 10% move, so it could happen. But a lot of people hate it, but I think Robinhood is a good platform for options trading. Yeah, it's not bad. Well, I think they've improved it a lot, but the only bad thing is like it's really hard to get your orders filled at good prices. Like they definitely take a lot off the options. They admit they make most of their money off options, but they yeah. High volume, sell off, the opposite of what I need for the stock to reverse and make a bounce upward. See, and that's what most people would think. And that's obviously somewhat true. When you're going down, you're not going to go back up. But this is a very important week, and I hope everybody pays attention to what I'm going to say. We've been looking forward to this expiration for one reason, for volatility. And that's exactly what we are seeing right now. It's been called out on this channel for months now. I don't know about other people, but I've been talking about this for at least since mid-October. And with that, we're seeing that it's all amplified this week. So we're seeing all of these crazy puts. We've never had this amount of puts be in the money that I'm aware of. 142,000. That's 14.2 million shares that will have to be hedged for by the end of this week. It's Monday now. There's 4 days to expiration. Gamma levels are going up. Theta decay is kicking in hard. You're going to see a lot of hedging. But at the same time as that, we have peak fear ending midweek. If peak fear goes away and we see a bounce in the marketplace, we're like a spring, like coiled up with all of these puts in the money. When they go out of the money with 2 days left to expiration, all of that has to be almost instantaneously de-hedged for. And that obviously is consisted of buying shares on the market as fast as you possibly can. At the same time, you have the calls just obliterated, right? They're all almost out of the money. Like 95% of them are out of the money. So you're really coiled up right here. And then, obviously, I mean, if we see a bounce, just like we seen today, markets were down, AMC was down bigger. If we see a decent bounce, we should be up even bigger during the bounce. It's just going to be a lot of back and forth. Bro, my mother's trying to get me to invest with her money. Guy said he'd have lunch with me, but he wouldn't work with me unless I gave him $100,000 or better. Oh, yeah, jeez. That's ridiculous. I don't know. Kind of sounds like a scam, but if it was really a financial advisor, that's he's either a high roller or that's unfortunate. I mean, really all investing your own money, I think, is one of the easiest things to do if you can answer 2 questions. What is your long-term goals? Do you want to be rich or do you want to be comfortable in the next, 20, 30, 40 years? Because there's a way to do that. And then what's your risk tolerance? Are you going to freak out when we go through a 2020 event? Are you going to be cool and keep buying? And then just invest in solid companies. And unless you think the whole economy is going to crash for over 5 or 10 years at a time, you'll be good. But what's your background on the market? Nothing really. About 4 years ago, I got into it just on my own, just because I wanted to make a lot of money, wanted to be rich. I always knew I was going to be rich somehow, and just passionate about it every single day, day in and day out, learning everything I can every day. And that's I think that's personally what makes the best investors, because if you only like if you don't have a love for it, if you're only in it for the money, like you don't even like what you're doing, I don't think you could ever do it. Like if I didn't like making YouTube videos, I wouldn't do it. I don't think you can pay somebody enough to do something long term what they don't like to do. So I don't know. I could ramble on and on, but that's basically my background or analysis. Analysis in the market. Chart options will be built, and it's a little confusing. Robinhood has it more simplified, but still Robinhood chart sucks when it comes to TA. Yeah, what I like now is they added the options watch list. So I have a couple on here, because normally you couldn't look at what the premiums have done just on the option chain. You have to put it into this watch list now, and you can look, and I'm just tracking a couple, but that's I think one of the best features they just added like a week or 2 ago. like strategies are really easy on Robinhood too. Weeble's kind of more, confusing when you first start on like different strategies like credit spreads, debit spreads, verticals, if you want to wheel something, or just selling covered calls, or any minor strategy. Ghetto spread, it's all a little bit more complicated on Webull and other platforms. Man, think of all the people who are in at 5 or 10 who could still get out with a great trade result. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you'd be beating yourself up at this point, You'd still be good, but, I mean, you would have been up so much more in the 50s or 60s. No, he's legit. He got her 20% back last year. He got her husband 16 back. Want to go out to lunch? We'll just see what his thoughts are on the squeeze. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's solid. I mean, 20%, that's better than a Citadel. And they only returned 18%. I mean, can't win them all, though. That's why, like, if you really want gains, like what I did with Lucid, AMC, and SoFi, I'm doing that right now, is just concentrating. I want like 10 to 15% of my portfolio in these stocks. And then once they go nuts, that can make up for a lot of losers. Like I did that with Lucid, and I'm still up like 90% on it. Maybe 100%, close to 100%. I only need one question answered. Does he own AMC? If he does, give him the money. Right. If he owns AMC, I can trust him. Madoff got people back 16% for years until he couldn't. Yeah, and I mean, if you're compounding that, it's not bad, If that's a compounded rate of return for a while, like that's well outperforming the average 7% move in the S&P, but some years are going to be better than others, that's for sure. This year was a tough year, back and forth. Like it was really good for parts, and then it was really bad for tech. Like I'm mostly tech too, so when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's way bad. I was down I think I closed down 6% today. A lot of that was AMC though, that caused that. Happy to see Robinhood at 18. Yeah, remember when I was making I'm shorting Robinhood videos? I think I made 2 or 3 of them. Two months ago. That's funny. You'd have done really good though if you'd have bought longer term puts. Everything works out in due time. Option strat, will you show how to make like 1,000 different types of options built? Yeah, I have, and I feel like a lot of people didn't like those videos, but they are very insightful and teach a lot. So I like doing them, especially like how to do free pretty much day trade as much as you want with an account less than 25,000. I think that's the best strategy if you don't have an account under 25,000 to learn how to do. Simple. You can day trade all you want. It's a little bit different, but it still can make you keep gains. If you have 100%, 50% gain in something, you want to take your money and you don't have a day trade. So many times it used to happen to me. I would do that, my account less than 25 grand, and I would want to sell and I couldn't. And then next day the stock would go the opposite way and I'd get crushed. But once you learn that, that's a game changer. Option strap. Yeah, it's interesting though. Peak fear. I mean, let's see. Is CMC saying anything else? Peak fear is Wednesday. What time does he speak though? I think early. Oh, is it at night? No, 10 a.m. Right? 10 a.m. No? Hold on. Go Wednesday. Wednesday FOMC 2-day meeting, December 15th to 14th to 15th. 2 o'clock. I think we get the No. Do we get the report? I believe we get the report a half an hour before Powell speaks. So about 1:30, I believe. If it's the same as the other times. And then 2 p.m. So we're going to be able to see. I mean, we won't get full digestion of like how the move is actually going to play out. But you're going to have a pretty good gauge to go off of the last 2 hours of trading on Wednesday. And that's really where you could see the bounce in AMC is like if the markets, they're either going to turn really bearish or really bullish really quick. This is the most important meeting in 2 years. Insane. Highest inflation in 40. So it'll be good. It's opportunity at the very least. Do you think people will go to jail now that the DOJ is involved? I think there's a definite good chance. If they were manipulating as much as we believe they are, as much as the due diligence we've done has shown, then I think somebody's going to jail. Because they don't play. Look what they did to Martha Stewart. They don't play. They are not playing around. They don't care about us, though. They don't care about us. They just want to make the market seem fair to outside investors, to people that invest in our markets. That's like treasury bonds. You know, America can't default because other countries, companies, mostly other countries and big companies buy the bonds. So it's like, it's one of those things. They just want to uphold the markets, but they don't give a fuck about us. How's that ex who was in the accident doing? She's actually doing really good. Really, really good. I think she still can't feel her like foot. She had strokes when she was in the hospital, and then she had a seizure since she got out. But yeah, she still like can't feel her foot. They don't know if it's from the stroke or not, but she is doing good. I think what you guys raised for her was like saved her, really. Nobody else did anything. It's impressive. This community is built off of helping people. It's incredible. Oh, it's my people. What their money was in, and their guy apparently moves stuff around all the time. I first thought it was my mother money being used to short sell. Yeah. Probably at times. Probably. They do just, I don't know, hedge funds or something else. Because they're always hedging for like either direction. They hedge too much for the downside. Like, it's good when you hit it once every 3 to 5 years, but you'd actually do a lot better than hedge funds if you just bought the S&P. Like, the S&P 500 well outperforms almost like all hedge funds. Most hedge funds cannot outperform the S&P. But that's boring. All new here. Love your chat. Got in at $28 per share. When it gets down to $20 per share, I will buy a lot more. Love your videos. Thank you. You're here to support us. It all good. Appreciate you. That's exactly how I feel, though. $20 a share. I was buying a lot in the 40s. If I don't buy in the 20s, something's wrong there. Much love. I appreciate you. No, she does too. She's saying she wanted to do a video intro or just post one on the community page here on YouTube or something. She actually brought that up. I'm like, what? Okay. Keep buying. This is far from over. Let's go, apes. Welcome to the movement. Yeah, welcome. Don't let too on that note, don't let things what people say deter you. I mean, that's one thing I learned is you should always go with what you feel, what you think. There's a lot of that FUD trying to scare people. Some people just don't want to see people do good, make money. Can you practice trade options? Yeah, you can paper trade options, I believe. Like I'm 99% sure you can. On like a TD Ameritrade or like a Weeble. I've done it just for a few, just to like do something super risky, try to see if it would work. But can you have you ever been to the 8 Mile area? I went to a concert at the Shelter where Eminem played one time. Sketchy is sketchy. Seeing Doobie actually when I listened to him a lot like a couple years ago. Sketchy. How much have you made from being a YouTuber? Oh, I got monetized the day after Mother's Day, and I've made 20,000, I think. 20 grand. But it's not worth it. Like, it totally is not worth it unless you like doing it. Because I do this all day and work another job, real estate agent, and I have rental properties. So it's not like main source income. It's not like worth it if you didn't like to do it. Because I mean, 20 grand to do this all day and not have a life, I don't know. Not quite worth it. Doobie love Doobie, yeah. See, and that's where I wish most people were transparent about it. You know, how much they make, because, I mean, I guess I don't have nothing to, like, flaunt about. You guys, most of you guys have made more than me off your jobs than here YouTube, but I don't know. It's always something I'm curious about, like, how much are you making? You know, like, sometimes you gotta question people's intentions, making, like, super, like, making videos about stuff that makes no sense. Especially been in the markets for even 4 years now. Like, I can spot a bullshit video usually by the title, and it's usually in this community you got like 3 or 4 people that do it on a regular basis, and I've never clicked on any video and found something that is actually believable. That's the shit that I have a problem with. I don't care if you're legit, you're Trey, Matt, somebody that makes videos on their opinions, or even other people, you know. I don't got a problem with people, what they make money, but, you know, it's tough when you see those videos. It's like you're pulling this out your ass. That's why if I have a crazy title, then you better believe that I can back up with a strong opinion on why I'm saying something. At the very least. Diamond balls, the moon. You know how to set a stop loss and set your account up to where it'll sell if it hits up to a certain point. Yeah. Do a limit order, a sell limit order. Type in your amount, and then I would do like a 90 days good to cancel, and then it'll sell out at that price. Or a stop loss. Oh yeah, same thing though. How do you get a real estate license? Good question. I actually did it all online. Well, the test, if you really get down to do it, well, like the class and then the test, if you really get down to do it, it doesn't take very long. I think the whole class I did was maybe a week or two online, and it's all virtual. Like, it's not, there's no actual people like behind the screen. It's like just a course, and then your test, and then once you complete that, you can schedule your in-person test. It's not a hard or not an easy test to pass. There's like a 50% approval rating. It's definitely it's one of those where you're like, I didn't learn none of this on the course once you actually take the test. Definitely worth it though. In a lot of ways, it's worth it. Smash likes. Yeah, smash the likes. If you guys bought the dip, smash the like. Or if you're going to, hit the like. Most certainly. Anyone got money in TNR? AXXA, serious money being made on these two. More money to come. I personally don't. If I did, I would have options in it. If it doesn't have options, then I don't know. Sounds like cheap stocks. YouTube takes a lot of it. Oh, a lot of the money? Oh, yeah. If you're talking about money-wise, yeah. They kill it. Super chats, everything. They get theirs. Like advertisers. They definitely pay. Like, once you're bigger and you're getting like a lot of views a video, they be paying. They be paying a lot. What in the manipulation is going on, DOJ? Right. I think they're gonna be looking into everything. I think you've seen a lot of like spoofing, a lot of targeted attacks on AMC throughout all this, but they're going to be looking at a lot. We didn't get much clarification, though, honestly. They kind of just announced it without saying too much, which is kind of frustrating. You should make videos in the future about rent flipping houses, how to get started, how buying basics, how to go about renting out, stuff like that would be super cool. Yeah, definitely should, because there's like a science to it, if you will. Not every house is good for one thing, you know. Like, when you can be a sniper about it, go about it. The biggest thing, though, about, like, buying a house, you said, or just rentals, you know, it's getting that 20% down, unless you buy a house every year like I've been doing for 3 to 5% down, move into a slightly bigger one, rent your old one out. That's pretty straightforward. That's the easiest way to do it. Rentals, they want 20% here in Michigan. I hear it's different other places, but 20% down plus closing costs. Like, jeez. And that's tough with a flipper too. Like, because you can't get a loan on any house that just, you know, needs to be flipped. Like, if the house is too bad and won't appraise for as much as, you know, some houses, they just won't give you a loan on them because they're not good enough. But messed up carpet, messed up paint, that's what you really want. Messy yard, they'll give you loans on those. Your little trap house or something down the road, don't even try to get a loan on it or flip it or anything unless you got cash. Can you estimate the lowest level AMC can go, if not asked to announce flyover in Manhattan to cover AMC? I mean, the lowest, like the absolute lowest, like stupid low, I think $10 is like your absolute worst case scenario. Like, fundamental valuation, I know is supported at $10 a share. There's no way around that. But in like the next couple of days, I mean, we only have 2 days left of peak fear, Tuesday and Wednesday. If we still have fear after Powell, then we're in for a rocky road. But unless he announces something crazy, man, the markets are pricing in a lot of crazy announcements already. So if it's not crazier than the already crazy announcements we think, we should be good. We should see it bounce. But, 1750, 20, I really don't personally think we'll go under 20, to be honest. But anything can happen. That's one thing I've learned, too. Yeah, Kevin started like that. Yeah, I like Kevin. Like, he obviously has a good track record. I don't believe anything anybody says, but I like the honest opinion. That's what I like. That's the only reason why I like watching people is like honest opinion. That's why I strive. If I think the stock's going to go down or if I think it's going to bounce, that's what I'm going to tell you. That's the videos that I like to watch. How many shares do you think the Hedges owe? I think right now it's got to be over 100 million at least. At least. So it's at 96 million estimated. And boy, have we seen a lot of pain. So I think that's just what we can actually prove, Can the Fed effectively cancel the MOAS? If it, I don't think they could cancel it, but if it started to get like thousands of dollars per share, like these crazy 50,000, 100,000, oh man, I don't think they would have any choice. We would bankrupt everybody. They would have to bail out the entire financial system. So I think at a certain point, you'd all be millionaires. You'd all be doing big shit at that point. So I don't think anybody would really like trip out, but eventually, if it's gonna crush the system, I think they would have to, like legally have to. Maybe you don't know about it. You probably do. What's your opinion on naked when it turned into too essential? I used to actually trade the stock a lot. I think I owned it for a period, but I don't really have any big opinion on it. I think right now is not the time to be playing anything risky until we get after the Fed meeting. You're either going to see that risk on situation or a total risk off situation. And if you don't have earnings, some kind of earnings, like after everything, your bottom line earnings, if you don't have any of those and you're not supposed to for a couple years, yeah, don't really want to be concentrated in those. That's my opinion about in general, not really just the stock. Hell yeah, I want to buy a house every year. Do that thing. Awesome info. Yeah, every year you can take a 1 bedroom, 1 bath, or 2 bedroom, 1 bath, three bedroom, 1 bath. Literally, you can do a 3 bedroom, 1 bath, buy that, and then 1 year later, literally to the day, go to the bank, go to any bank. It doesn't have to be the same bank, and go get another loan. Just tell them you're gonna rent that one out, and you're good to go. Get another one. Then rent that out, and then they'll use 75% of your renter's income and take that off your debt to income. So what you don't want to have is like a bunch of vehicles in your name, a bunch of bad debt. Like stocks, great. They don't care about margin either. So you can have all the margin you want. Go crazy. But, yeah, you don't want to have bad debt. Then they'll give you whatever you want. Like I don't have any bad debt. I don't have a car payment. I don't have, I have a $25 secured credit card payment, but that's it. As far as bad debt, all the rest, houses and margin, but they don't care about that. Like I said, it's the best thing to do though, to grow. I mean, even if you did one every 2 years, you'd have 10 houses in 20 years. That's plenty to retire off of in most situations. And you can tap into the equity. So like if you own a house 2019, that house is not even in the best area, and it still went up like 25%. Yeah, first house I bought was not in the best area, but that still went up. Like how Amazon buying everything up. Oh yeah, they're buying everything up. It's funny because I've never been scared. We already won. We just waiting to get paid. Exactly. I mean, I think we won, yeah, a long time ago. Like I've said in some videos, you do not want to fuck with 4 million angry retail investors. or angry apes. Just I wouldn't touch that. I wouldn't even go close to that. At least at 10x, and that's what they. Oh, yeah. So what's the point of the Dtcc 63 trillion insurance policy? Good point. I think it's people just like to feel like it's insured, you know. Like that's part of my issue with even crypto a lot. Like having a huge crypto account, like Coinbase, I know they're like insured, they have their own insurance, but it's more like a safety net, you know. That's like insurance companies, right? They'll be like, your house is worth 200 grand, 300 grand. That's what it costs to rebuild it. They make it seem like they would just build you a new house. Come down to it, they want every report done. They want everything done, trying everything not to pay that. That's kind of what it is. They're going to do everything they can to not make that happen. But it's just a backstep. Medical debt, good or bad? That's something you really can't get around, you know. It's not good debt, but it's like if it has to be done, then there's nothing you can really do about it, but it's not good debt. Good debt is really just real estate. If you have a car that like goes up in value, I guess, like there's certain cars that are not bad. But really just real estate. Margin, that like good debt, that's questionable, but real estate is good debt. Like bad debt, student loans, credit cards, medical, like I said, you really can't do anything about that. And just things that don't add value to you or don't grow your net worth would be considered bad debt. Ever look up who Citadel contributes to politically? You think this is where commander-in-chief? Yeah, I have looked into that. And they give to quite a bit. And, I mean, it definitely could. Money talks, right? I think money can sway a lot, even behind the scenes, you know. Maybe not even commander-in-chief, but maybe people that tell him things, or the Fed, or SEC. They're great people. Why would I sell? Taxable event occurs when you sell, yeah. And it's not a loss until you sell. Sometimes, though, not with AMC, but sometimes I should have just sold some stocks. Like companies that I weren't convicted in. Every time I've been convicted in a stock, it eventually has worked out. And I don't think AMC is going to be the first one that hasn't. Well, I take that back. Neo, I was highly convicted in that. Great company, though. Just China sucks. Average is stupid if you plan on 100K a pop. Yep. Selling my crypto, buying all AMC tomorrow at a dip. There we go. I like that. Can we just all admit the grape ape sell-off is on and there's no MOAS coming? I highly disagree with that. Just to say the least. But there's definitely a sell-off going on. And I think some people have sold. Like, I'm not saying every single living person has held on to their shares. But that's not really, you know, what matters when it comes down to it. What matters when it comes down to it is the volatility or velocity of how many people are buying, how fast are they buying, how fast are people trying to sell. That's what really moves the stock. And, I mean, had a lot of selling, but, you know. I don't really need to like convince anybody though. You know if you know, you know. If you don't think so, then by all means stay true to your conviction. That's something the stock market has taught me. Stock can go down to 1. Stock can go down to 1. You buy simple. Daddy don't get price targets. Here's your DDs. Touch trend fund. Institution have sold, but it's manipulated. Oh yeah. And I mean too, I think at these prices, like, I think it makes sense to buy, especially under 20. It makes a lot of sense. Dark pool data states 99% buys today. Crazy, huh? That dark pool is something else. Hopefully we'll get some kind of bill way to see into that, even if we don't have to participate in it. I get why they have it in theory, right? To not cause 20% up days or down days off of average institutional buying, but to not be able to see what's going on, that's obviously not a fair market. Thoughts on hedge funds saying traditional technical analysis is BS and antiquated? I think, that's a great question, because I think a lot of technical analysis is bullshit. I think really what matters, and you'll find that matters every single time, is literally 3 things. And I say this in the videos all the time, so if you guys watch, then you already know. But it's support and resistance levels, categorized like into 1, moving averages, and volume. Like, you can do this double top, triple bottom bullshit all you want, but that will never hold up against those 3 things. Support, resistance, the lines that we have going. And you guys can see, I've had these lines drawn for so long. Like, the proof is there. Like, I'm not making this up. Like, you can clearly see. We're floating in between, really never closed besides the 10th Friday under 27.93. Hit under these so many times, though. Went under this, never closed under this until December 10th. And then we did just gap straight down under both these levels we were flirting with. And then 200-day moving average. That is proven to be a resistance level. And that's usually how it is. There's support levels until they're resistance levels. But yeah, I mean, and then volume is just, if you know how stocks move and low volume into high volume, you could tell get a sense of what's going on behind the scenes without knowing, right? Low volume, not very many shares trade hands. High volume, a lot of traders. So there's definitely some traders today, but we're still not even close to where we were at even in August. So, But I think a lot of technical analysis is BS, to be honest. Like, I think somebody commented on the video not too long ago, and they were like, dude, I like your insight, but your technical analysis is shit. I'm like, because it just doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I used to get into nuances about the technicals all the time, but what I have found, especially on AMC, that holds up are those 3 things, and that is it. Nothing else even matters. $1 trillion coin. It's a commie idea. Yeah, that's crazy. $1 trillion coin. What is going on? The calm before the storm. Imagine buy a loaf of bread with $1 trillion. Exactly. I agree with you. That is what matters in TA. I see people drawing hella lines like crazy. Like, what the fuck is that? Yeah, exactly. I mean, it never turns out. That's really why I stopped doing it and focus on the 3 things that we know works. Every case is going to be a little bit different, but just in general on any stocks, support, resistance, moving averages, and volume. That's really it. You can get into all the double bottom, triple whatever, but head and shoulders, all that, sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Cup and handle, all that stuff. Most of the time it doesn't, though. Really, with AMC, you might as well just flip a coin or watch these 3 things. Well, it's already been socialism for the wealthy and high taxes for the rest of us. High taxes. Taxes are... I mean, the way I think about it, they're the public has a way of using their money better than the government. To be honest, not even political. Like, I kind of think tax evasion is what has made this country so successful. Give the money to the government, they send it to Iran, everywhere else, right? Like, what are you guys doing? Just send $1 billion over here, $1 billion over there. Really, they're pocketing half of it. Whereas we create jobs and start businesses. I don't know. I'm very not socialist when it comes to taxes and all that. I'm not socialist in general, though. I'm like right in the middle, I feel like. And I don't even like talking politics, but I'm like right in the middle. I don't lean too far either way. If Evergrande officially defaulted, it's a margin call for Citadel. It could be, depending on how much direct exposure Citadel had and how much exposure they had in other people that had exposure. Because I think a lot of people forget, it's not just if you own the bonds. Let's say Citadel has big investments in, I don't even know, BlackRock, UBS, all these other people that do own a lot of bonds from Evergrande. That can also be a big issue. So it's direct and indirect exposure to it. I think the biggest thing with Evergrande, though, is it could be a big catalyst to send the markets down. And that just limits the amount of money that is outstanding in the short squeeze. You always see short squeezes. In 2008, stocks were short squeezing left and right. It wasn't just Volkswagen. It was because the money had been dried up. There was not enough money to service margin calls when they came. Robert Rich explains it well. I'm colorblind. Oh, you're colorblind, really? I don't know if that's legit or not. It's the top 5% that get handouts and wealthy that have made the mess that we have been in. Margin calls for many institutions. What state are you from? Michigan. Michigan. I feel like it's either like ghetto or like country. No in between. Very little in between. A mercy received. $1.49. Look at that. The Black Cat. Appreciate you. Most people tend to be in the middle. Asked about the core issues they believe in. Yeah, like I'm totally like pro-choice. As long as you don't hurt other people, pro-choice. And some people are like, either, vaccines. That's like a big one. Oh my God. It's either everybody needs to get vaccinated or, I'm not getting it. Like, if you want to, get it. If you don't. I really don't. Why am I beefing out with you? Like, I already had COVID. I'm good. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm good, but. And I just got to stay out of political arguments. Like, I think everybody has, like, good and bad. I think one of the best things Trump did, just to get a little political, is right to choose, right? So if you're, like, dying and there's these medicines that are experimental, you can now try to save your own life with an experimental drug. I think that should have been done 50 years ago, If all hope's gone, the risk. You're a grown-ass adult. Try. That's one of the best things he did. I'll always salute him for that. But, yeah. I know this AMC stocks, but I just wanted to ask you if you're familiar, have any interest in the Naked Army stock. I'm not too familiar with it. That was Naked, right? I'm just, right now, you can get lucky with random trades, but just in general, keep this as a rule of thumb, at least heading into Wednesday. And even after that, because we're going to get tightening, is investors, big money that really move stocks around, they're not going to be just buying any company that is not making money, right? So after all expenses, like If you run a business, what is your profit margin? What do you take to the bottom line? What do you take home? If companies aren't taking anything home and they're losing a lot of money, they have to raise money. Or if they're just not going to be profitable for the next year, I would stay away from them. That's why I like PayPal. SoFi, I mean, they lose money, but there's a lot of people that believe in them. They held up really good today. They're diversified business. Like, you got to be really careful. I shouldn't say stay away from them in general, but just be really careful. When do you think the hedgies will cover? I don't know exactly when. I know what will cause them to cover, and that's when the markets come down. And before anybody says anything else, like, you can't argue with me. The markets wouldn't be in a bear market if Apple, Google, Nvidia, Amazon, Tesla, Microsoft, Facebook sold off. Can't tell me otherwise. This is 20% of the market right here with Tesla and not even really Tesla as much, but Microsoft and Facebook. That's when hedge funds are forced to cover. And that's it. That's the reason why they haven't. That's why the short interest went from 20% to 14% right here, and we went up 10x. Some hedge funds were down 1,000%. Or 1,000%, right? Imagine if 14% short interest was covered on top of that. It'd be insane. But there was so much money outstanding at this time. They just put money in their margin accounts. Simple as that. Who bit the Apple logo? It doesn't cost you money to hold. That's true. Sometimes just pro hunting, unless you have options, then shame on you. Yeah, I mean, if people buy options, like, I have no problem selling cover calls on AMC. Just being very careful. Like, I'm willing to take a loss if I see, like, the MOAS happening, shorts covering, all of that. But if you want to buy the options, I will be the market maker, and I will collect that liquidity instead of giving that to them. All day, any day of the week. Thanks for the content. Appreciate you. You rock. Thank you guys. I mean, I hope at the very least, if I'm right or wrong, or anywhere in between ever, I hope you guys can at least understand the transparency, and that's where the real value is. I don't give a fuck if somebody's right or wrong more or less times. It's, 'cause I'm like 50-50, right? I did not call this today, but if you can give me that opinion, that legit opinion, and you just don't get that too often, then that's what is really valuable. Like I was saying, meet Kevin, right? I like watching his videos, not because I believe or disbelieve anything he says, because he's transparent. Like, bro, you asked me how much I made on YouTube? 20 grand. 8 hours a day, every single day at least. Is it worth it to you? Not unless you like doing it. What is the floor, Tyler? I mean, the bottom, like the floor, like $10. That's like the fundamental value for a bear on AMC. We've got a lot of $7 price targets. That's like a bear price target. 10. I think like a bullish institution, probably 15 to 17. We haven't had much dilution since June that I remember. 25 million shares, I think. Or no, didn't we? We didn't approve that, I don't think. They did a little bit though. 1 to 3K max. Mark Mayor's own influence by institutions. Nice to see you live streaming. Hell yeah. I've been trying to recently. Tyler, see you later, homie. Gotta hit the gym. Get the gains. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Hit the gym, brother. You have fun. Enjoy yourself. I don't know. I always had fun at the gym. And the gym I went to, they had a full basketball court. So I suck, right? I'm terrible, but it's fun. I like playing. Right? We can all play, but we're not all gonna get a trophy. And I am definitely not getting a trophy. How did their $1 price target work out? Right. $1 price target. Man. I would hate us if I was a hedge fund that shorted the stock at $1. I'd be so mad. We go to City Sports. They have basketball here too, and a swimming pool. Oh man, there you go. A swimming pool is I like swimming. Yeah, as long as you enjoy yourself. I don't think anybody should do anything, like that you don't like doing. Like, that's the problem with college. Like, you got to like what you're doing. You can't just do it for the money. No matter what it is, you have to like it or enjoy it a little bit. Price action, worry about this. Let's not look at the daily price action to worry about this. Right. See, stock futures tick higher ahead of key inflation data Fed meeting. Yeah, that's only up a little bit though. Got a sell order for 500K. Good till canceled. There you go. Yeah, that's what I've been trying to encourage people to do, but I think I missed you. Peace and love to you, my brother. How long do you think AMC is going to go? I mean, to the downside, Wednesday is a peak fear. Unless we get something crazy. Like the markets, they're pricing in crazy announcements. 2 to 3 times faster tapering when we just thought a month ago that we're going to get a 7-month taper. That's crazy. That's already priced in from the markets. If we get that announcement, I think the markets rally. If we get an interest rate increase, the markets are going to sell off 100%. But I think that's like a 10% chance or like a 20% chance. Possible, very improbable. Hedge has been shorting AMC since 1996. I think they owe 3 to 35 billion shares. Whew. That would be crazy. They're all screwed then at that point. Thoughts on DPW? Looks like they have power to move it down more. Yeah, they definitely do have the power to move it down a little bit more, but it's gonna cost a lot to keep doing this. I mean, they're gonna lose a lot too if they keep pushing it down every day like this, and then it does see a 5 to 10% bounce. Yeah, it's gonna hurt a little bit. Short squeeze, then January gamma squeeze because the in the money calls, the infinite squeeze because the short and gamma. I'm with you. I mean, we've been looking forward to this Friday, December 17th, at least I have for a long time, and January 21st. But I've been saying for a minute, just volatility. Markets are down 1%, AMC's down 16%. Like, that's not quite the volatility that I think should be going on if it was a normal market, but still, that's some of the highest option activity in any stock. So yeah, just a lot of volatility. Increased rates will cause a meltdown in Wall Street, which is good for our play. Yeah, there you go, LM. That's exactly what I've been trying to say, and people don't really understand that unless you can dive into what's going on with the hedge funds. Look at the situation in the macro sense. And like history, 2008, there was no liquidity. They were screwed. Because, I mean, you never have to cover. If you're a Citadel or the next guy and you got billions of dollars of assets under management, you have millions to put into a margin call, they're not going to forcefully liquidate you. As long as you have money to back up what you're doing. That's like with anything. If you got money there, they aren't going to force you to sell it because they're guaranteed either way by like the brokers, people lending out these shares to be sold short. That's when you get the real problem, is when there's not enough money to give the person you lent the shares from more cushion, right? To deposit more into your margin account. I think that's really the only thing that could cause the MOS, to be honest, is liquidity drying up or some kind of huge catalyst that made the stock worth like $50 a share, or reasonably worth like 50 a share. It will be historical. Oh yeah. Hey, great investor. Does the statistics say that the apes have been holding their shares and not selling them? Like, how do we do? I mean, there's no like definitive data on that. The best thing that I go off of is just the volume. And for a long time, we've seen almost record low volume. Now we're in higher volume, but we are seeing still relatively low volume compared to the percentages that we're seeing, right? Like 80 million shares, 83 million shares with a down day of, 17.6%, including after hours. That's showing you guys not that many shares are actually trading hands. So it really just comes down to, like I said in the live stream and what I said in the video today, is people, if they're willing to get in or out of a position fast. So, like, it doesn't have to be a large amount of people that are really trying to buy a stock to drive it up. If you have a million people trying to get in the stock right away, then that stock's going to go up a lot faster. Same thing to the downside, like we're seeing with shorts. We're seeing a lot of shorts that want to take on fast short positions, so the stock goes down a lot faster with still low volume compared to on a normal day. Say 5 million people are trying to buy the stock, but they're not willing to pay more than the next guy and the next guy. The stock isn't going to go up the same, even though there's more buyers on that given day. Hopefully that makes some sense. But when you tie it all together, what it's telling me is some people have sold, like a very small percentage, but like by and large, nothing has changed. Like if you were to ask me, like nothing has changed. But you see the comments not everywhere, but that rare comment, like, I did sell, and I think that's a given on any day. I think it's ignorant to think nobody sold. Like if somebody told you nobody sold, I wouldn't believe anything they ever said. Because that's not true. But that was really like, if AMC went down to $1, AMC YouTubers would still say the MOS is coming and hold just a fact. I mean, it can't go to $1. Like, that's not possible. Like, that's literally not possible. You'd have a $513 million market cap. It's not possible. I don't even think $5 is possible. That's a $2.5 billion market cap. I don't think it's possible. I think anybody could make a justifiable, like, even the bears say $7 to $10. Price targets in between that range. So that's like your worst case scenario. And it really hasn't changed anything until the shorts cover. Look what happened last time. Dude, we went from $8 to $80. We had two 10x increases in price. Stock went up, it came all the way back down. Went up, almost all the way back. It's coming down. Like, it doesn't change anything, though. In theory, if people hold, then it would make the situation more bullish. Scarlett, though, what is your, like, case for this? Like, I don't care about people, like, I have no problem with people, like, coming in and, like, saying that, right? As long as you have something to back it up. Come with some kind of data point, some kind of logic even. Like, why are you saying that? Why do you think you're saying if it went down to 1, YouTubers would still be saying that the MOS is coming, but why do you think that it's going down to even remotely close to that? because I can't make a bearish argument for that. There's no way, unless it's impossible. Like $10, like I couldn't even make a bearish case for that. Dude, look at what the business is doing. The stock price doesn't matter. Look at the business. Obviously, some people would say it's not worth this price. I would argue that it is worth this price. But certainly, $10, anybody could make, a 5-year-old could make that argument damn near. So, I mean, I don't know. My opinion, I guess. Red or bounce up tomorrow. I mean, futures are up a little bit. I think inevitably you are going to see a bounce, but peak fear is still not until Wednesday. So I think there's just going to be a lot of volatility. I don't really expect anything crazy. I didn't expect anything crazy, honestly, today either, but I don't really expect another 15% down day tomorrow. I second LN. I'll continue to buy more and hodl. See, there we go. And I mean, if you guys aren't convicted, like, I'm not trying to like prove it to you. I think it's proven itself. I think the chart kind of speaks for itself and what can happen. I wouldn't underestimate AMC or the movement. I would definitely be careful of like too much margin or anything in AMC. Not really the stock to be super margined on. Kenji other count. There we go. Volkswagen dropped like 50% the week before. Exactly. Like literally. That's what I said too. And in so many videos now. It's like, I know everybody knows that story. Right. Everybody knows what happened to Volkswagen the week before and the markets before. Nobody saw that coming. Well, Porsche knew that was coming. They were actually investigated for causing that. But they did give shorts a warning. They said, hey, we're going to buy the rest of the shares and we have options to control basically the rest of them. If you want to get out of your positions, I think they gave them 3 days or something, or a week or something. And they didn't. And they got crushed. Volkswagen isn't in the same situation as AMC. Right. It's not. It's the same in the sense of the liquidity dried up in 2008. If that's going to happen, like the market is propped up on very weak stilts right now. That's not me just guessing. That's a fact. Take the top 10 biggest stocks out of the market that control over 20 to 25% of the market activity. Yeah, markets are in a bear market at that point. Take those stocks down, gone. Look at your portfolios. Mid caps, small caps are whacked, are just destroyed. So once that happens and the money is drained out of the system, not fully, like 2008, like it doesn't even have to be to that level because AMC is much bigger than Volkswagen, but that's when you're prone for the short squeeze, and that's what makes them both similar. Very different, but very similar at the same time. Yeah, it's bigger, for sure. Way bigger. But like it's the same sense. Hopefully you guys are picking up what I'm putting down here. Like forced liquidations, that only works when you don't have money to fund your margin call. That's like your margin. They don't really care what you're invested in or how risky you're playing it. If you got money to back it up, Robinhood or the next brokerage is not going to forcefully liquidate your position. If you got $1 billion, they'll let you do whatever the hell you want as long as they get paid. Hedge funds, they have all the money they need. Has anyone been margin called yet after Evergrande? Not that I have seen. But there's a lot of financial articles that come out, so it's like you really have to sift through them. None that is like substantial that I've seen come across any of the wires that I watch or anything like that. AMC isn't looking good. No, can't argue. And I know you're not the biggest fan, or You're not the biggest fan of me, one of the two, but that I would say that's a fair statement. I would say though, if you're an ape, it really doesn't matter. You know, like honestly, I would love to buy more shares cheap. Like imagine if you are averaged in at 40 or 50 and the stock does go to 17. You could buy what? Half of your 35, half of 35%, half of your position in between there, total value worth of shares, and you'd average down to around that price. I'm not sure the actual calculation, but you could do a lot when the stock goes down. Oh, he says I like you. I like you too, brother. You just don't care for AMC. Is just a dumb place. Yeah, I mean I can take, opinions and all that, but like I said, I just hate when people say shit that they can't prove or justify at all. Why is AMC the stock being shorted? I think it's really just egotistical, like, to be honest. I don't think there's a fair reason to be shorting AMC right now. Like, I don't think it makes sense on a risk management basis. It makes zero sense. AMC is much more likely to bounce from here than continue to come down in a substantial way that you'd make money on top of a cost to borrow. Like, risk management wise, no, doesn't make any sense. But, I mean, I think it's egotistical. Honestly. Every squeeze in history dipped before it ripped. Yup. Take our smooth brains, sell the ones with profit. What is your way to buy shares? You are accepting the ask price, or you put in your own bid price? Well, I think a lot of if it's not something that's super volatile, like AMC, when I just buy it on public, like I literally just type in the amount, like the amount of money that I want to buy, and just let it go through at whatever, because they're gonna get you on the best available price. Public is really good for that. Like really, really good for that. There's been reports about how they're better than Robinhood by like 15% better at getting you a better price. Like that, I just let go through. But about 106 more shares today. There you go. You can sell covered calls instead of market makers collecting the liquidity. You can. Not bad. Said, what the hell happened today? David Johnson, what is going on? When someone come on an AMC live stream and say it's a bad play, that just sounds dumb. I mean, I'm not really sure. To be honest, I mean, people can have their own opinions, but good point. Are we locking down again? Yeah, I seen they were requiring masks as of today till like mid-January. All masks have to be worn indoors. I never heard anything about like fully locking down, which was surprising. Michigan COVID was really bad. Like has been at all-time highs for a while. And we still like nobody wants to lock down. I don't even think that's on the table. Why was the inflation higher than the outflow? Why was the inflow higher than the outflow? And we still have 50% of the day when it last looked. Yeah, see, great question. I love answering this because it's something a lot of, like, I don't want to single anybody out, but like a lot of people just don't understand it. I didn't understand it until I like really got into studying how markets work and all that. Like the best way to put it is like an analogy. Like if there's more buyers to sellers, it doesn't matter. It's how fast do people want to get into the stock, and are they willing to pay more than the next guy? Like with trades, like imagine a day the stock is super hyped. This is not exactly how it works, but imagine there's like 5 million people that want to buy the stock on any normal day and 10 million people that want to sell the stock. Doesn't mean the stock's going to like go down if the people selling don't want to get out super fast. So it's like the same thing. It doesn't have to be a 1-to-1 ratio, but the velocity of what people are trying to, if they're trying to get in really fast or get out really fast. It's a really, like, I wouldn't say complicated thing to explain, but like to actually understand it, so it's a little bit difficult. I bought 10 shares today, by the way. When you invest in GameStop when games are being obsolete, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't really think anybody would like invest in. I mean, certainly at AMC's price right now, it does make sense to start a small position if you did believe in theaters long term. Like, I do believe in theaters long term, but I believe in AMC, Admir, and the innovation that they caused, like Nintendo. This was one of the best comments I ever got on any of my videos. I don't even know who said it, what the name was, but he said, look at Nintendo. They used to be a, what do you say, vacuum maker. They used to make like cards and just weird things, and then they pivoted to grow into be one of the most successful turnaround stories the world's ever seen. So I believe in that, you know. I don't believe in like brick and mortar gaming industry. I definitely believe in the theater industry more than that, for sure. 100% all day. Eventually consoles will be made without gaming discs. But you can't replicate a theater at home. I don't care how hard you try. Just the feeling and the vibes and all that, you can't. That's like with the metaverse, putting on a VR headset to go to a concert. It's not the same. It will never be the same, no matter how hard you try to make it the same. I think anybody would agree to that. But I get, you know, games are going digital for sure. Yeah, I would never invest in that. Like maybe physical games, yeah, will die off. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I think we all agree on that. Exactly. Nintendo used to make domino board games, cards, and vacuums. Yeah. So I believe in that, you know, with what they're doing with NFTs. What they can do too. AMC doesn't always have to be a theater business. Once their balance sheet is good and they're actually making money again, and fourth quarter they should make a slight profit, if not come close to making a profit. So that should be good. But yeah, the popcorn, dude. That was actually a really big catalyst. I think if we were at the bottom of the markets, like if we were in another 2008 situation, or the S&P had sold off 20-25%, when that news came out that they were starting their own popcorn line, I think that would have been a big enough news catalyst to make shorts cover, or to just cause people to buy the stock and to cause them to cover ultimately. Because that's big. Like, I mean, 80-90% profit margins on popcorn. If you can, I mean, they already have a lead in that because it's a theater industry and they're known for popcorn. So it's a no-brainer. Like, that should be really good. We're in good hands. There's a place for it all, yeah. If it's the big companies unloading shares in AMC, is that going to hide/dissolve the synthetic shares? I don't really think so. You probably didn't hear what I said about synthetics earlier, but I think it really only happens in like times of extreme volume, you know? Because in theory, like what I could prove right now. Well, I shouldn't say prove, but like what is facts and opinions is very hard to differentiate. So like it happens all the time, but I don't think it happens on a mass scale. And there's no way to prove this. So it's a really hard argument to make either way. But I don't really think they get dissolved per se. It's just a very hard argument, you know. Yo, TCI, 1,000 people set their ass at 10,000. Would the price go that way? Yeah. Well, maybe not just 10,000, but I think if a majority of people did do like a lockup like that, like set their limit orders to 10,000 or 1,000 or any price really, that without selling them, then you would see less shares being able to be borrowed out, and that would definitely help. And that would be really good. AMC will partner with many. AMC will be the new face of movie theaters and how they should be. Oh yeah. Imagine AMC partner with Six Flags and have movie nights. Yeah, like there's a lot that they can do. First quarter 2022 AMC will be cash positive. Second quarter 2022 AMC will issue a dividend. Yeah, that would be nice too. I like your hat. Will your minuses be emptying Santa's hat? Yeah, like I was saying though, there's a lot that they can do, you know, with just all of it. Like they don't have to be a movie theater company for the rest of their life. I think they're stuck right now, you know, but a year from now, even that could be a much different situation. I don't think the MLS will take that long, but if it happens to, it's good though. It's good though. Thoughts on AMC? I keep skipping by a couple comments. AMC needs to bring back drive-in in theaters. Oh yeah, I remember going to drive-in theaters. I don't know. I don't remember if they were AMC theaters though when I was a kid. But that was so fun. I remember that was really fun. Theaters were done when the television came out. The same thing when VCRs came out. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just a vibe you can't recreate. Like I went to the theaters not too long ago, maybe a month or two ago, and like the first time being back after COVID, and I'm like, dude, why don't I go to the theaters like a couple times a month? Because it was just fun. Like it's the vibe you can't replicate. You get in your reclining seat, you kick back, try not to fall asleep. It's cool. I like it. Aren't as profitable, unfortunately. Yeah, that's oh yeah, true. Aren't as profitable because the profits really comes from like popcorn and food. So that does make sense. I'm glad you said that. I didn't think about that. So teens tomorrow, I'm doubling my position. There we go. Time to slap the bid. Slap the bid around. History repeats itself just like mistakes are. We're not a good business model, mostly because they would be seasonal. Yeah, that too. They slapped the price down until nobody was paying attention. Yup. They just don't. Drive-in theaters is not the thing anymore. Yeah, take too much space. Only can watch at night for drive-ins. Yeah, I think that was just a good experience, not a good business model. Mm. Oh yeah, I remember when Blockbuster. Yeah, dude. I was obviously young, but even like family videos and all those. I remember there was a Blockbuster though that we used to go to down the road. They went, and then Family Video went after them. I'm surprised. I mean, I shouldn't say I'm surprised that business went away, but um, it was inevitable. You know, that's like GameStop. Like, not trying to hate on the company or well, not that, but not trying to hate on the squeeze. But I think it's pretty clear, like we were talking about, they need to pivot their business model, and I think that's why they've received a lower forward valuation compared to AMC. Just in general, because you know GameStop makes a lot more money than AMC. Like revenue wise, they pull in more money. but haven't had a higher valuation. Shoot, what they need to do is get into like actual gaming parts and selling PCs, like, or just totally pivot, do something else, anything really. Oh, you still have drive-ins in Buffalo, New York. That's surprising. Some drive-in theater in Phoenix. It was like 4 or 5 screens. I'm a trucker, never went to it, but passed by it. Okay. Yeah, there's none around me. There used to be a lot. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, but like in the town, like there was like 3 of them, and it wasn't a big town, so there was quite a lot, I would say. The memories of for that I'll buy more. There we go. That is funny. That's too funny. And so you need to do like Ferrari did have colognes, clothing, and even a theme park in Dubai. Yeah, I mean, they can too. They can start doing a lot of stuff. When James see when the new Matrix drops. I have a drive-in theater in my town. Dang. They killed them around me. Probably just not enough people went, specifically in like Michigan too. Because it does get cold. Like even when there isn't snow on the ground, it's cold as hell sometimes. Alright guys, it was a good little chat. I hope we're all ready to do some buying tomorrow. At least I am. If not, holding on for dear life. I'm going to get off the phone, take this chance while my daughter's sleeping to eat something, do all that, take care of myself, I guess. But yeah, love you guys. Thank you for watching. Should see you in the next video or something, but you guys are funny. Yeah. Let's get a special wallet or something to get that NFT. I don't actually know. I'm still waiting on the email actually for that. About the NFT from the Upper Peninsula. I'll answer your question real quick. Upper Peninsula. I'm not, if that's what you're saying. Ape's not leaving. There we go. Alright, yeah, my camera's tripping out too. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for hanging out. See you later.